exciting championships tomorrow on FSN.
It's halftime. The Texas Tech Red Raiders lead at 34-25 over the Aggies, but it was a 14-point deficit early on, and the Aggies have closed the gap. As we take a look at some of the highlights here in the first half, Jim, of course, Texas Tech got off to a very strong start.
Well, when you get it in the ball hand of Jay Jackson, you know good things are going to happen. He and Martin Zeno have combined for 27 of Texas Tech's 34 points here in the early going. You're going to get a good look at Klefka right there. He has 3, and Daryl Dora has 4. There's 2 of his 4 right there. So the big 2 for Texas Tech, Zeno and Jackson, combining for 27 of the 34 for the Texas Aggies. Josh Carter, the freshman from Dallas Lake Highlands, leads the way with 10 points, the only Aggie in double-figure scoring. Joe Jones only has 4. That was 2 of his. Slip another highlight of Texas Tech in there. Zeno getting the backdoor cut. Josh Carter once again knocking down another 3 that brought the Aggies actually within 9 here at halftime.
Well, Jones only was able to play 10 minutes because he had some early foul trouble. In fact, has 3. But it's going to the Dogs here. These Dogs are putting on a show at halftime, and we will have a show with the second half. We'll continue here in just a moment. 34-25.
We are fighting.
Riverbell.info presents the Monte Carlo Millions. Premieres January 14th on FSN.
Hey, Travis.
Daily. Plus, Bronx bomber Derek Jeter. After the John A. Damon edition, does the Yankee captain still...
Nice crowd on hand this early evening at Reed Arena here in College Station. Greg Lucas back along with Jim Haller. At halftime, of course, the Aggies are on top, and Jim is getting to show off his brand new blue shirt that we didn't get to see in the open because
what do you tell all our secrets for?
Well, the women's game ran a little long, so we had to do some changing. But let's talk about this first half, because statistically it's only 9 points. 9 isn't really as many as it could have been the way things are going, but then when you look at the numbers, it looks like it should be worse.
Well, I agree. Normally when you have one team that shoots 61% and the other shooting 31%, it would be greater than 9 points. But the big difference, Texas A&M has 9 more shots because Texas Tech has 9 turnovers to A&M's 4. Another big shocker right here in the paint. Texas Tech has 18 points to only 8 for the Aggies, and Texas A&M has been averaging 30 points in the paint to their opponent's 16. So there's some real surprising happenings here so far today.
Well, they got to get something out of Joseph Jones. The Aggies do. That means he can't pick up that 4th foul. He's got to be offensively effective, and they've got to get it going early. Down by 9. We'll have the second half. It's coming up next.
Conference is on Big 12 Showcase. On location, Showcase.
The 19 players they've got on the basketball team are from the state of Texas. That hasn't really changed because Billy Gillespie's new guys are all going to be from Texas, and he had some thoughts about that.
Our school's in Texas. There's great players in Texas, and so let's start here first. And I think that you can win a national championship with players from Texas, and Houston got awfully close to doing that, basically in one city. We're going to try to spread out over the entire state and see if it can work. I really believe that it can.
Well, there's no question, if you can get the ones you need, you can certainly win a national championship.
Well, this Texas A&M staff is just coming off of a early recruiting class this year, ranked in the top 10 in the nation, and I think you're going to see something done here by Billy Gillespie that'll be pretty consistent, because he's always been a great recruiter and he's got a great recruiting staff. You know, Texas Tech has won 20 games in a row, 4 years in a row. It's won 20 games over the last 4 years, and they've done it with a lot of good players from Texas and New Mexico. Ronald Ross, who they missed greatly this year, was from the state of New Mexico, bordering states. They're taking advantage of Louisiana like we talked earlier.
On the first possession, the first shot doesn't go down by Jackson, and The Aggies have the basketball, a chance to get as close as they've been for quite some time. They're down by 9. Jones on top, off to Acie Law. It's always great to watch the outset of a half to see what adjustments the coaches and players make. And now in the paint, we got a whistle, and I think it's going to be a holding foul.
Take a look at the scores. I said early on, Zeno and Jackson have combined for 27 of Texas Tech's 34. Aggies led by freshman Josh Carter. What they've got to do is get Joe Jones on track. Those 2 early fouls wrecked their game plan.
And that wasn't just the leaders. Usually we only show the leading scores. That was it, folks. That's the only guys that scored in this game. Kirk brings it over to Walker. Oh, they're looking inside, looking for Jones if they can get it there. Kirk from outside for 3. Ooh, that would have been a big one. Walker with the rebound.
Kirk is actually a good 3-point shooter. They like to get the ball in his hands.
Walker, Pompey, and down inside. 3 seconds, or is it a foul?
I think they called 3 seconds.
3 seconds on Jones. Well, he'll take 3 seconds anytime over a foul. He's already got 3.
Well, that counts as a turnover. The Aggies now up to 6 turnovers for the game, or what's that, 5 turnovers.
Dora. They're going to call a block. That was a close one because there was a lot of initiating contact on Dora's part, but it was on the Aggies.
Well, as long as the defender is sliding, it's going to be always a foul on the defender, and it looks like right there he's sliding along. Now, that's a tough call. That was made by Curtis Shaw, one of the top officials in the nation. He called in the Final Four a couple of years ago.
Tech calls a timeout, having trouble getting the ball in play. Bob Knight, assisted by son Pat Knight, is the designee to replace him when he finally steps down. Stu Robinson and Chris Beard. We got an unusual circumstance at Big 12 because we have 2 coaches in the same situation. Eddie Sutton's son designated to replace him when he steps down. And of course, they're the two of the winningest coaches of all time. Tomorrow, the NFL's second season begins on Fox with round 1 of the NFC playoffs as the Panthers battle the Giants to see who will advance and who will go home. Coverage of the NFC wildcard playoff game begins tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central, only on the Fox television network. By the way, I know you had the scores at halftime on the news update, but what an impressive win it was for Kansas in a non-conference game over Kentucky today, Jim. 73-46. And then Nebraska winning at home, opening the season against Oklahoma by 1. Texas with an impressive 25-point win against Colorado.
I'd have to say that Texas margin of victory was a shocker. Colorado was 10-1 coming into that game in Austin, but Texas is a new ball club. They gained great confidence after that shocker they pulled on number 4 ranked Memphis right after the start of the new year. So, but that win for Kansas was just terrific for the Big 12 Conference. Kentucky had recently knocked off Louisville, and they were ranked in the top 10 in the nation. So a good day with Kansas beating Kentucky and Texas beating Memphis recently for the Big 12 Conference.
Well, the atmosphere here in Aggie land, as you know, changed last year when Billy Gillespie came in. They have a pep band that started working last year. They actually have, of course, the Aggie Yell Leaders are here, but they've also got cheerleaders and pom-pom girls, which they never had before. It's sort of the traditional basketball. And of course, the crowd has their witty slogans as well.
Well, Greg, you mentioned those crowds last year. Their 4 biggest crowds in Aggie basketball history all happened last year. The biggest one ever was their Texas Tech game here last season when the Aggies won by 22.
This one's not totally sold out, but it's a very, very good crowd.
Yeah, without the student body here, I'd say this is a great crowd.
Michael Prince with his first basket, and the first 2 points of the second half go to Texas Tech. Walker on top.
That freshman is doing a terrific job under extreme pressure here this afternoon.
Kirk, another 3, and that one's there. That's his first one to go down.
The Aggies start knocking some of those down. They'll make a game out of it. Down to an 8-point deficit with 18 minutes to go.
I'd say probably are in a game now. Let's see what. Oh, Prince misses this one, and Jones flies through for the rebound off to Acie Law.
Law taking that ball deep, trying to see what he could create. Texas Tech did a good job of getting back in transition defense.
Kicked away by Prince. It will be the Aggies' ball.
Have an opportunity to see Texas A&M's last basket. You're going to see the kick out to Mr. Kirk over on the left wing. He loves it there and buries the three for the Aggie Cause.
As close as the Aggies have been, 8 points since 14-24 in the first half. Kirk, and that's Prince guarding him too tight. So he picks up a quick third. You know, the pattern of this game was a little unusual because it's not uncommon when you have a big game, the start of the conference play, to see the adrenaline flowing with the home team, and they get off to a good start, and then the adrenaline kind of dries up. It's been just the opposite. Jones, but he may have picked up number 4. He did.
That was a correct call right there. That not popular with the Aggie fans or Coach Gillespie, but Joe Jones definitely plowed right back into the Red Raider defender. Plefka was planted right there, so Joe Jones took it aggressively, but not when the man has got you defended that well.
And Plefka has a spot in theatrics, though, because he made sure that would be seen. I'm not saying that wasn't a correct call. I'm just making sure that Plefka emphasized it.
You're saying he may have overemphasized it a little bit. He got what he wanted. That was the call from the striped shirt. Well, these officials now, they're calling it so much closer, it seems like, this second half than they did in the first 20 minutes of action. Might mention Texas A&M leads the Big 12 in free throws attempted. In the first half, they only had 2.
That's right.
Texas A&M, Texas Tech only had 7, so very few attempted either way.
It's like there's a turnover. It's like they quit fouling when they were getting. At least the Tech got into the bonus. They didn't get too many shots at the line. Well, let's turn it over. It's 36-28. Still 8.
Joe Jones is the Texas Aggies' leading scorer with an average of 17 per game. With him out of there, just having scored 4, that totally changes the Aggie attack.
Pompey looks for a cutter, finds Law. Law cuts through the lane. At home.
Nice job moving without the ball there by Acie Law. Broke right to the free throw lane, jumped up and stuck it. Now the Aggies within 6. The crowd's back in it.
They sure are. It's 36-30 with 16:35. It is safe to say at this point that anyone can win this one. A lot of time left. Jackson. Kirk is in his shirt. Has to get up the door. 12 on the shot clock. Plefka. Good tight defense. Tapped away. It'll still be Tech's ball, but they've only got 5 seconds left on the shot clock. That Aggie defense putting on a show in this possession.
Yeah, it was stifling right there, but Texas Tech was probably doing a little more dribbling than Coach Bob Knight likes in this motion offense.
Alan Bosco, they put one up. Might have been partly blocked. The ball knocked loose to the court. Picked up by the Aggies. Here they come. They can cut it to 4. Or less. Kirk. Yes!
Nice job penetrating inside, kicking back out to Dominique Kirk, bringing the Aggies within 3. Nice execution.
And a foul on Bosco running over Walker. We'll take a timeout with 15:46 to go in the game. We got a game. The Raiders 36, the Yankees 33.
In America today, higher education is more important to our future than ever before. Universities across this great land must feed the mind and the soul of their students. They must develop strong leaders with integrity, character, and honor. I chose such a place for my presidential library, a unique American institution. Texas A&M University is one of the nation's top academic and research institutions, but it's the Aggie spirit that defines us. I'm proud to be part of this school, proud to be an Aggie.
I have a lot of tools, but the most important tools that I have are my hands. Woodworking for me is fun. It's not work. You can't get arthritis in a chisel, but I have it in my hands. My arthritis pain feels like sawdust in my joints. When I start to feel pain, I'll go right for the BC Arthritis. BC Green eliminates the pain so that I can continue on through the work. I'm Tim. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and in this neck of the woods, we use BC Green.
See you tonight.
Okay.
Introducing the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara. You want more out of life? Suzuki's giving you the green light. Go! Lease the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara for just $199 a month for 30 months. Hurry in.
It's a three-point game. The Aggies still only shooting 36% to 56%, but they have closed the gap.
And a lot of that because of good Texas A&M defense. We're going to have a look at the last Texas Tech possession. From overhead, you can see this Texas Aggie defense and how they shift and how they help each other. You see them dropped off right here, not too tight away from the ball. Just keep watching because Texas A&M doing a terrific job. Right here, stop it right here. Now, earlier in the ball game, this defender was way out on the Texas Tech player. He was going, and then the Tech player was breaking hard to the bucket. He's dropped off now where they cannot break back door so easily. Right there now, he drifts back out and gets the deflection. So good team defense that time by Texas A&M. LaQuinty White out front. This is only his second game of the year. Talking about defensively for Texas Tech.
Acie Law!
Right there's that jet quickness I was talking about. He got the quick first step advantage to the baseline, pulling the Aggies within one. Law now has 11 points, the second Aggie in double figures.
And a turnover. The Aggies have only led this game 2-0. And now they've got a chance to take their second lead of the game with 15:23 to play. A 10-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes.
The Aggies were behind by 14 in the first half, but whittling that down nicely here in the second half.
Law using the quickness again, has to back off with the dribble. Now stops Walker. Kirk. Law. Walker sets a screen, he goes the other way. Pompey, 8 on the shot clock.
And nice patience, but they're going to have to make the move to the bucket.
2 on the shot clock. He just had to throw it up, missed everything, so it's going to be Texas.
Well, we talked about the good Texas A&M defense on the half court. That was terrific that time by Texas Tech. Both these teams known in the league as two of the better defensive ball clubs. They're showing it here today.
White on top, the lob down to Dora, slapped away by Pompey. Here comes Law. And Walker ran over Plethka, so the foul is on Walker.
Yeah, Acie Law had the basket on the play, but Walker didn't stop. He just kept going down the lane. Good positioning by Texas Tech, getting back in transition D. There's a good shot of it right there. Walker running over Plethka.
No basket. We're still 36-35. Tech. Raiders with the basketball. Knocked away, but picked off by Dora. Jackson making a move. Back off to Zeno. Neither of those two have gotten on the scoreboard here in the second half. Jackson, and the ball rolls in, and there may be the foul before the shot.
Yeah, Danny Hooker's the official making that call. He definitely gave the good signal on the floor before the shot.
It's on Pompey.
Good strategy by Jay Jackson, taking the ball hard down the lane on penetration.
Second foul on Pompey. This is Zeno.
A&M's doing a really nice job in passing lane defense right now. Tech is smart to penetrate if possible.
Quinte White working out top. Jackson, no, and the rebound taken down by Law. 8-footer, and the lead has changed hands.
Well, he is so good at that body control. He can stop on a dime just up and over the Texas Tech defender. I told you if Acie Law got on a roll, he could make this a different game.
First lead for the Aggies since 2-0. Jackson rolls it in, blocking foul. There will be
Yeah, there's that penetration I'm talking about. Texas Tech was staying on the perimeter a little bit too much. Jackson that time seeing a crack in the Aggie team defense, taking it to the basket, drawing the foul. Billy Gillespie obviously does not like the call.
That's a third foul on Kirk. At the free throw line, Jackson. He's got 2. The Aggies in the second half came out of that halftime adjustment.
Well, the big difference, they started knocking down a few shots, and that made their defense a little bit more aggressive because it gave them more confidence.
Only 2 players, those backcourt guys, Law and Kirk. They've got the points. Jackson has his first 2 of the second half, 15 in the game, 38-37. The Raiders back on top by 1. Walker.
There's some kind of matchup going on over there on the far side. Martin Zeno against Eddie Smith, getting it inside to Kavalauskas, the junior college transfer. Positioned himself well. Good entry pass for Texas A&M. Take a look right here. Eddie Smith, who leads the team in assists, getting the good bounce pass on the baseline side to Kavalauskas. Billy Gillespie telling us before the game that he thinks Kavalauskas is going to be a terrific player before this season's over. Still learning the game.
He's had 3 games in double figures this year. As you see, his overall average 6.4. Those were his first 2 points of this game, and they're going to need him in this game with Jones in foul trouble. But he can't complete the 3-point play, and Dora has the rebound. We are even, the Aggies rather, on top by 1, 39-38. Zeno. Lefker rolls it out, and on the rebound, a foul of Walker, I believe.
I think they're going to get Chris Walker going on the back of Martin Zeno. Zeno's really playing well right now. He's been a thorn in the Aggie side defensively, positioning himself very well right there on the offensive boards. He's just 6'5", but he's a terrific leaper and very quick.
Zeno's not scored in the second half. He'll be at the line for the bonus. Coming back in for the Aggies' first time second half, Josh Carter. He'll replace Kirk. Zeno at 4 of 6 at the line in the first half. Tech is going to be shooting free throws the west of the way as the miss.
That's the third miss of third miss of the game for Martin Zeno, and he came into the game ranked 3rd in the Big 12 in free throw accuracy.
That was the front end of a 1-on-1. 39-38 Aggies with 12:44 to go.
Difference for Texas A&M is Acie Law become very much a factor offensively. Got his confidence going, and with Joe Jones out, they've got to have somebody step up big in the scoring column. Law averages 14 per game, the Aggies' second leading scorer.
Carter, he steps back on a long 3, and it was way off, but it was picked off by Walker to Smith. Kalakalis!
Nice job by Kavalauskas taking a step to the bucket onto the nice feed by Eddie Smith. Smith so quick, getting an advantage there on the Tech defenders.
That's the largest lead the Aggies have had in the game, 3 with 12:20 to go. That's a travel.
Martin Zeno getting a little out of control right now. He's a player that Texas Tech depends on a great deal, and he's a great player, but bad mistakes the last couple of times down the floor for the sophomore from Louisiana.
Prince back into the game for White. Carter will inbound. Bring it up the floor will be Acie Law. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Law. Little knuckleball short.
A little too quick on that one, but those are the kinds he's been making.
Jackson. There's Prince. Zeno, and he's fouled as he got the shot away.
Boy, now is that a 3? Yeah, if that's a 3-point attempt, he's going to go to the line for 3. Yes, sir. Curtis Shaw is saying you got 3 free throws, young man.
Well, he'll shoot them, but we'll wait because we got a break. 11:55 to go in the game. Chance to tie the game. It's 41-38, Texas A&M.
The all-new Ram Mega Cab has an available Cummins diesel, the only reclining rear seats, and the most rear seat legroom in a truck. It has the world's
more. Toss in news from around the NCAA.
Unbelievable!
And garnish with the hottest coaches shows. This is the place where college never ends. To order Fox College Sports, to get FCS.
Witness the baddest men on the planet.
Oh, there's a big right hook!
The Pride Fighting Championships are on FSN.
What a tremendous battle!
Featuring Ken Shamrock, Hideko Yoshida, Rodrigo Nogueira, and Vanderlei Silva. If you think you've seen fighting to the extreme, you haven't seen anything yet. The Pride Fighting Championships tomorrow on FSN.
The Big 12's 10-year anniversary, all season long on FSN.
When you come to Reed Arena, you can pick up your own version of Reveille or the Gig 'em Aggie blanket. All sorts of things available for you.
Well, let's take a look at the Aggies' last basket. They're going to kick the ball out here to Eddie Smith, last year's Junior College Player of the Year. He's going to penetrate. When you do that, good things happen. Kavalauskas breaks to the bucket. Nice execution by Texas A&M. That enabled the Aggies to go up by 3, but Texas Tech has a chance to tie it up again because of the foul on Kavalauskas against Martin Zeno on the 3-point attempt.
A couple of major factors in this game. One for the Aggies, Joseph Jones has been in foul trouble. He's their leading scorer, averaging 16-6, only scored 4. He's been in foul trouble, has not really been a factor in the game. And of course, on the Tech side, Terry Martin was scratched from this game, coach's decision, and he is not available. So he'd been a starter. So both teams are playing a little bit shorthanded in the case of A&M because of what happened in the game. Zeno hits the first of what will be 3. Now he's got one more. This will only be, if he does, only the second tie.
Zeno's a 79% free throw shooter, so you would expect him to knock all of them down, but that's his 4th miss of the game. Texas Tech has only made 1 field goal in the second half. Texas A&M shooting 64%. Texas Tech only 14%. That's how the 9-point advantage has disappeared for the Red Raiders.
Pompey makes a move inside, but he has the ball tied up. However, I think, or did he call a foul? He may call a foul. Yeah, there's going to be a foul, a reach in. That's going to be on Plefka.
Now, nice job of officiating by this crew. Now they talk about it and make the call. Danny Hooker and Bradbury, and
they'll get the inbounder here to start play Eddie Smith. Comes down inside to Pompey. Smith gets a step. Little left-hand looper, no. And there's that hustle man, Walker.
a terrific offensive rebound by Chris Walker. He just burst into that offside on the miss by Smith.
I think he had a pretty good idea when that left-hander went up like it did, but it wasn't really got a good chance of going in. But Acie Law goes in, his 4th basket of the half, and it's a 3-point lead again. 15 points for Law. Price, and that's an offensive foul as he was set, and Acie Law was run over. Prince with the foul, his 4th.
We're going to take a look at the last Texas A&M basket. Now watch Acie Law. He's going to come off of a pick. Just watch this whole series of action right here. Law's going to come back off of this screen by Chris Walker. Now right there, stop it just a second. If Texas Tech had stepped and helped on that screen like they were supposed to, Acie Law would have never got that shot off, but it gave him just enough room to get the shot. Bob Knight was not happy with that defensive team effort.
Acie Law, a 30-point game against Mississippi Valley this year for his career high. 15 here, but coming on strong. Walker dumps it into Pompey. Double team, back to Walker. That's the man they don't think is going to shoot. So the Aggies get it back out to Acie. 6 in the shot clock. Long rebound kept alive. Walker keeps it alive again, and Law comes down with the ball. He needs help. Walker for 3. Yes!
A terrific movement, great hustle by Texas A&M, retrieving the long rebound. That's what made it all possible.
Dora on the high post. The Aggies lead of 6, largest they've had. That's a 20-point turnaround from their largest deficit. Take away. Smith.
Well, there are those steals coming back into play. The Aggies force more turnovers than any team in the Big 12 Conference.
A 30-second timeout by Texas Tech. And the defense is doing it again for Texas A&M.
Well, the Red Raiders have basically lost their offensive composure right now, but Eddie Smith makes the steal with the quick hands. The penetration by Martin Zeno, not there. Smith got the deflection. Smith gets the bucket.
Well, you know, they work on defense. All these teams do, all the top teams in college basketball. And I think we're ready to hear from Billy Gillespie regarding percentage of work and practice is on defense.
I think probably 65%, Jim. It's probably too much, especially with an inexperienced team. But at Pacific, we only scored 56 points. Still had a great chance to win on the road against a really good team because we defended well. And I want that to be the way that we play. And when you play well offensively and you play great defensively, like I think you're going to need to play on a nightly basis in this league, then you have a chance to really beat some people. So we probably spend too much time, but we're probably not going to change much. We're going to continue to do that, create offense out of our defense.
Billy Gillespie probably surprised some folks. 65% of their practice time is spent on defensive preparation and defensive drills. He's a huge believer in that. Of course, he's a disciple of the Bill Self School of Basketball Coaching. Bill Self now the head coach in Kansas, but Billy Gillespie an assistant under him under the highly successful run at Tulsa and Illinois. And Billy's just taken up with what he knows work there, and it seems to be working for a rejuvenated Texas A&M basketball program.
Well, no field goals in the second half for either Jackson or Zeno, and they led the scoring in the first half. They've hit some free throws. There's Jackson. Dora, they're taking away that cut from Dora. That'll be a push. Foul inside on Law.
Yeah, Dior Loharn that time made a nice move, shaped up well in the paint. Loharn, just a freshman, has not played a great deal here today, but the Texas Tech staff thinks he's going to be a great player, very highly recruited, one of the top players in the state of California last year.
He's had 6 starts this year. He's from Oakland, 6'7", 2. They have him listed at 230.
Greg, in their last game, he blocked 6 shots against UT El Paso, so he's got terrific athleticism. That 6 blocks was only 1 block away from the school record held by Will Flemons, who had 7 in one game.
No way he weighs 230. That must have been a pre-training camp weight. That comes down to Dora. Loharn can't get it down. The rebound taken down by Carter of A&M.
Well, Texas Tech did all the right things right there, just couldn't get it to fall. This is very similar to what happened to Texas A&M at the start of the game. They couldn't make a close shot.
Well, they back out to Carter. Carter in traffic, just has to throw it up. Hope to draw a foul, did not. Here comes Jackson.
Well, freshman adrenaline got the best of Carter right there. Not a good choice, not when you have a 7-point advantage.
Zeno. This is the man that's going to get loose, Jackson, because Smith's doing a good job on him, and he doesn't get it down. And Walker, what a box out
Yes,
job.
sir. You saw it, too. Great box out, block out by Chris Walker.
Smith, he went through traffic, and he couldn't get it. This will turn into an easy one, I think. Yes, basket by Zeno. His first basket of the second half makes it 48. 43.
These are 2 terrific defensive basketball teams. Anytime you think of Bob Knight, you think of great defense. Talked a lot about how well they've executed their motion offense this afternoon.
Acie Law, he's fouled. It'll be on Zeno.
Acie Law is just so quick, and he's a fearless competitor. He just takes it right into the teeth of the Red Raider defense, challenges them at each opportunity.
Second foul on Zeno. About 10 minutes between field goals for Tech. The first one came by Michael Prince. Now, one we just saw a moment ago by Zeno on that turnover was the first one in that long. 49-43. Kirk back in.
Acie Law now up to 16 for the game. Jay Jackson, Martin Zeno leads the way in the contest, his highest score with 18.
The difference is 17, 10 of those in the second half for Law. And Zeno has scored just 4 in the second half. A 7-point lead. Law will get a rest. Ray Jackson guarded by Smith.
Eddie
Great
Smith,
job.
yeah, Eddie Smith is so quick. He's just staying with Jay Jackson every step of the way.
Zeno. Prince. Door's looking for those cutters. He had those 7 assists in the first half. Hasn't had one since. As that ball was just plain thrown out of bounds, lost by Jackson. We'll take a break. 7:32 to go. The Aggies 50. The Raiders 43.
Right now. We make noise. Scream all over the track. Just move from the front to back. We make noise. Holler all over the beat. Just rock, man, move your feet. We make noise. Yeah, yell out to all of your fans. Get up and just clap your hands. Make noise. Man, I ain't gotta say no more. Just bounce and you can feel the force. We make noise.
Why are people all over Texas raving about the great night's sleep they're getting on the Tempur-Pedic sleep set?
He's such a competitor. He's so quick, and he knows how to take advantage of it. He's a nice, pure shooter when he gets on a roll. He's a streak shooter, but he can also hurt you with his penetration because of his great quickness. He's a lefty. Likes to go with that left hand at every opportunity. He's just led the Aggies back here. Great determination, and as you said, 10 of his 17 game points here in the second half.
You know what they say about lefties, though? They're a little bit different. Here's an example. His media guide information says he hates pizza but loves math. Now that's left-handed.
That is definitely different. He's got good bloodlines. His uncle was Ernie Banks.
Yeah, great uncle Ernie Banks. So let's play 2. Tell you what, if they win this one with this great second half, they'll want to play 2. Jones back in the game, but he travels.
Well, Joe Jones just not having a good game today. Doesn't look comfortable. He has not been able to get his rhythm because he's been in foul trouble the whole game. Can't stay on the floor long enough to become comfortable.
I think they had him in after that timeout to see what could happen on offense. I don't think the turnover really is why they took him out. They just took him out.
They wanted to take him out because the Aggies could rest him while they're on defense. Don't take a chance on another foul. Nice strategy by Billy Gillespie.
7 minutes to go. Jackson has to cut it off. Walker's right in the face of Zeno in a battle on the rebound. The foul's going to be on Pompey, maybe?
I think they got it on Marlon Pompey. Yeah, 42. Curtis Shaw making the call. Bob Knight looking on approvingly.
It's a third on Pompey. At the free throw line, this is Dior Lohorn. Jim talked about. He's hit 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. 8 points a game. Hasn't seen really any action to the second half of this one. One more.
Well, the Tech coaching staff thinks he has terrific potential. Hard worker.
Averaged 26 a game as a high school senior. Had a 48-point game.
The Red Raiders could use a bunch of that percentage of 48 here in the last.
4 languages: English, Italian, Mandarin, and sign. That's a renaissance.
He not only has great athleticism, but he's very smart as well.
I think that's pretty much
obviously the case. Let's see how smart he is defensively now. The Red Raiders pulling back within 6. Still anybody's game with 6:40 left.
The Raiders still have the free throw advantage, but the Aggies are hitting some field goals in the second half.
Well, lots of bumping and pushing going on inside between Jones and Dora. Nice ball movement.
That's a three, but Law didn't get it to roll. And the rebound comes out long to Zeno. Jackson. Dora. 6:15 to play.
Dominique Kirk, now known as Texas A&M's best on-ball defender, was on Jackson but fouled him before the shot. Got him on the hip.
He got him in a spot or Jackson did, that made it one-on-one, and he had a little step on him. That's the fourth foul on Kirk. So he and Jones, 2 of the 5 starters, both in big trouble for the Aggies. They lead by 6, though, with 6:11 to play. Jackson now with 16 points. Only 3 at the free throw line. That's his total here in the second half at the line. First half, all 13 points came from the field. One of those was a 3.
Well, he leads the Big 12 in free throw percentages, and just as you expect, he knocked them both down, pulling the Red Raiders within 4.
50-46, play call from Acie Law. He said 2. It goes over to Kirk first. Pompey. They want to go into the big guy, Jones, and Jones goes up and in.
There's where that strength takes over. Good defensive position by Daryl Dora, but the big body of Joseph Jones just made it happen.
Got a 30-second timeout called after Jones picks up his 3rd basket for 6.
Nice kiss off the glass. Dropped that right leg to get quick position on the baseline. Nice work by the big sophomore. He took the Big 12 by storm last year as a freshman, coming from tiny Normandy, Texas, to make the all-freshman Big 12 squads.
Don't forget, coming up tonight on your Southwest Sports Report, NBA action. Spurs and Mavs both in action tonight. Big day in the Big 12 as conference action begins. And, of course, that one non-conference game was impressive with Kansas over Kentucky. NFL playoff action, it began today. That and a lot more tonight on your Southwest Sports Report. Well, the Aggies trying to come back after down by 14 points in the first half. They are now up by 6 with 5:49 to play. They got 2 key players in foul trouble, Dominique Kirk and Joseph Jones. And again, they make that change with the defense because Jones is out of the lineup after that 30-second timeout. They have a defensive unit on the court. Kirk is playing, however, right now with 4 fouls. He's number 22. I saw him trying to chase down Prince for a moment. Prince with the basketball, gives it up.
Texas Tech has 2 true freshmen on the floor right now, Prince and Lohorn.
3-second violation on Dora, apparently.
I think this shows you how much confidence Bob Knight has in these freshmen to have them on the floor. In fact, he's sort of in a position where he's got to play them.
He's got a lot of freshmen. Let's see, he doesn't even have a senior, does he? No. Aggies' turnover margin leads the Big 12 tonight. It's +8. That's right where their average is. Now, what's important about that is, remember, they get maligned for some of those non-conference teams they played. Well, this is a conference game, and they're right at that same number.
Well, and they had big stats in the turnover plus category against Auburn and Penn State, 2 good teams they beat non-conference play.
Now, Tech will come back in with Plefka, and Dora will take a seat. Dora's big thing in the first half was his passing. That has been taken totally away by the Aggies' adjustments on defense. They're not allowing that cut to the basket for an easy basket like Tech got so many of in the first half.
Now, when you pressure away from the ball, you can get those backdoor cuts, and Tech certainly took advantage. Not this half. It's not there.
Kirk for 3!
Now, Dominique Kirk, that's a player that Billy Gillespie loves. He says the kid doesn't know what pressure is. Showed it right there.
And a 30-second timeout after the Kirk hoop. 55-46. It's a 9-point lead with 4:58. And, of course, once again, with this Texas A&M timeout after basket, Billy can put his defensive team on the court. Of course, you run out of timeouts. That only will work so long. But right now, he's trying to get Kirk and Jones through this game without fouling out. Or at least getting a big enough
Well, you
lead.
can see why they want Dominique Kirk in the ball game. Even though he's got 4 fouls, he's still playing very tough defensively. And there he knocks down a crucial 3-point basket.
He has scored only in the second half, but he has 3 3-pointers.
Close to being the third Aggie in double figures here this evening.
Got 9 points. He averages 7.4. Acie Law is 17. That's better than his season average. There's the Aggie schedule. They've got to go to Oklahoma State on the 11th, and Oklahoma here. Next home game be the 14th. See, that's right about, that's still a little bit before the students are back, I think, 14. Could be back on campus that weekend. There's a foul on the attempt by Jackson, double team. The double guys, Pompey was in there, Smith was in there. Now which one got it? 42, that's the one who could afford it the least, because that's 4 on him.
Yeah, that means that he and Jones both in foul trouble, the two Aggie insiders. Plus Kirk has 4. We've mentioned often today that Texas A&M leads the Big 12 Conference in most fouls committed, and we're seeing another example of that today.
Tech's last field goal was at 8:18. That's 3 minutes 41 seconds. Yeah, that's a while back. Well, they've only got 2 in the whole second half.
Right. Texas Tech only has 12 points in this entire second half. 2
field goals in the entire half, with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play. 55-47. Pompey. Law picks up steam and goes to the basket, but the rebound comes down to Lawhorn. Well, he got to jump in there, but couldn't get the shot over the top of the ring. Momentarily, it's a 5-on-4 as Law was late getting back down court. He's in the line now. Prince Jackson.
Yeah, there's Mr. Dependable for Texas Tech, Jay Jackson. I love that young man. Just knows how to get it done.
The third field goal of the half makes it 55-49. Kirk working by Jackson. Boy, Jones trying to post up low. He's trying to get position. Has to go back out to Walker.
Big possession for the Aggies right here. 6-point advantage. 3.5 minutes to go in the contest.
There is a wrestling match in the low box.
Joe Jones is just dishing it out.
Acie Law for 3. Nope. Jones with a rebound. Walker.
Well, that's why they want him on the floor. He's got those big long arms and that big wide body, and he knows how to use it.
24 on the shot clock. 3:14 to go in the game. Law. Jackson trying to slap away. Here comes a double team and a foul, or did he call a timeout? Nope, called a foul.
Yeah, I think Acie Law's leg is hurting him. I noticed he was limping
he
back.
May have called the timeout.
Yeah, he
Let's
did.
see.
He did. I know the Tech fans are not going to be happy about that, but he was definitely telling Brad Ferry, the official right on the play, that he was hurt, and he called the timeout. He's limping to the bench right now.
It's possible it's a cramp. Intensity of the game. Bob Knight saying, well, we had the ball. What happened? I didn't see him call that. And Bob says we lost a turnover.
You can see him talking to the referee right there, calling timeout. He was hurt.
That's true. He was asking for it.
He didn't give the T sign, but he was definitely asking for it. And I don't blame Coach Knight for being upset, but he probably couldn't see what.
Well, they are working on the calf, which would tend to make me think it may be just a cramp. They're stretching out the leg. We'll find out when we come back. We got a timeout. 3:09 to play. It's 55-49. The Aggies on top.
See you tonight.
Okay.
Pursuit to get back in the black. Sunday on FSN Houston. The best in the Big 12 Conference is on Big 12 Showcase. On location, Showcase has highlights, exclusive features, and interviews, and the latest from every sport in the Big 12. Big 12 Showcase, Fridays and Saturdays on FSN Southwest.
Aggies on top by 6 as we set the Tech Raiders only have 3 field goals in the second half. The Aggies have 4 3-pointers in the
Well,
second.
and that's the big difference in the game, Greg. Think about this. Texas Tech has only made 1 3-point shot the entire contest, where Texas A&M had 3 in the first half, now 4 in the second half, for a total of 7. That's a big differential on that scoreboard when you're knocking down 6 more 3-point shots than your opponents. Texas A&M got hot at the right time, but there's still a lot of basketball yet to be played. 6-point advantage with 3 minutes to go.
This is where the fact that you play solid defense like A&M does can really benefit to protect that lead. Now, they've got to score. Fire. There's Kirk. Back to Carter behind the line. Oh, yeah.
And they have great confidence in him, and he's drained 3 of those here this afternoon. Third Aggie, and he's got 13 points now.
He had a high of 20 earlier this year.
And that was a backbreaker right there for Texas Tech.
A 9-point game. Lohorn tapped away and out of bounds, and it's going to be Tech's ball.
So much emotion on every possession here from the crowd and the players on the floor.
And the crowd is 10,389 here at the Reed Arena. This lead, by the way, of 58-49, 9 points, matches the longest lead and largest lead that A&M has had in the game. A block away by Walker.
Well, nice job by Zeno coming off of that pick out front, but as you said, Walker came out of nowhere for the block.
Contact.
Yeah, I think, was that on Dominique Kirk? I think so.
Yeah,
that's his 5th. He's fouled out, and that's crucial to Texas A&M right there. As good a defender as he is on the perimeter. Not to say those 3-point shots he's knocked down. You can see right here, he bumps Jay Jackson as they get into the paint. Tight call. Officials have got to be consistent.
So Kirk will leave with 9 points at 2:23. And his team on top, 58-49. Sophomore from Dallas, 6'3", 180, has had a fine game, especially in the second half. This guy, the other number 22, has had a pretty good one too, but he's been held in check. Only 1 field goal in the second half, Jay Jackson. But he's been busy at the free throw line.
Well, he's the first player in the ball game to the 20-point mark. He has 21 now. Zeno has 18.
Yeah, that's the 2 big guys we talked about before the game.
You talk about a 2-man team. They have 39 of Texas Tech's 50 points.
And that's the problem. That's the problem I know that Billy Gillespie was talking about with his Aggies. He said, we're getting everything out of Law and Jones. Well, they found some other people in this game. And we have a foul down inside. That's it for him. That's it for Jones as he was jockeying for position, and he fouls out.
Well, I'm sure that will be his season low in scoring. Only 6 points today for Joe Jones. Curtis Shaw right on top of that call. You can see him backing in.
Well, the battle in the paint was really something to watch. If you can,
that had been going on
every
minute that Jones was in the ball game. There was a lot of backing and pushing and shoving, and just 2 aggressive teams playing hard in the paint defensively. That one, Jones trying to position himself inside. Now Pompey has 4 fouls. This could really get serious. Of course, Texas Tech is going to say, hey, you're preaching to the choir. We're already short-handed.
Yeah. They're short on the scoreboard, 2 by 8 with 2:04 to play. Zeno. Walker's got him there. He can't go through with the penetration. Here's Jackson. Not there, and the rebound comes down to Edwards. Or Smith, rather. Smith with the rebound.
Take your time.
Aggies have the basketball. This is Pompey. Walker. They're just going to try to use much of the clock and then get a basket near the end. 21 seconds left, 1:37 left in the game. Basket on this possession, especially if they eat a lot of the clock, could spell doom for Tech.
Well, there's super quickness out front for the Aggies with Smith and Law.
7 on the clock. Acie Law, the foul as he threw that one up from 3. And that was almost a desperation heave. That was a poor foul by Jackson.
Well, that's what happens when you get caught up in the heat of the moment. Jay Jackson is such a terrific competitor. He just had the will to stay in Acie Law's face, but he got the foul on, as you said, almost a desperation last-second shot as the shot clock is going off.
So far, no harm on the first free throw of 3. Law will have 2 more.
Law's a 76% free throw shooter, so he's a man the Aggies like at the line.
18 points, 9-point lead. This could be the largest lead of the game for the Aggies. 10 points, and they sure got it at the right time with 1:20 to play. Vosgill. Lowhorn. Boy, there's nowhere to go. They are in your shirt defensively. Look at that. And it works this time as a foul will be called. The basket will count. Lowhorn goes down inside, gets the basket and the foul.
Nice pass by Jay Jackson, the leading scorer. Got the tough assist right there. Nice entry to Lowhorn down on the block. You can see him bounce it inside. Aggies had a defender right there, Josh Carter, but Lowhorn just bigger and stronger than the 6'5", 175-pound Carter.
1:03 to go. He can close it to 7. The Aggies will be facing extreme pressure here. Walker.
Get the ball in the hands of a good free throw shooter. Law fits that description. As I said, it's 76% for the year.
He brought it across the line. We're down to 52 seconds. 24 on the shot clock. Lowhorn is a mismatch size and speed-wise. Goes up with the right hand and rolls a hole. Acie Law.
What about that right there? Splitting the Tech defense. Great speed and quickness.
An offensive foul on the other end.
Well, the physical battle continues. Both of these teams very tough, mentally tough, physically tough. Aggies drawing a tough charge call right there.
Carter inbounds the ball to Walker with 37 seconds. 9-point Aggie lead.
The Aggies,
this is going to be a big one.
If the Aggies can hold on here, they'll break a streak of 10 consecutive first conference game losses. The last 10 years, Texas A&M has lost their conference opener. So this would certainly be a big psychological boost for Texas A&M.
That'll be a foul on Vosgill with 19 seconds to play. Down by 14 in the first half, down by 9 at halftime, being outshot 61% to 31% at the intermission. The Texas A&M Aggies throw out the defense. Only 4 field goals in the second half for Texas Tech. Smith will have one more shot.
Texas A&M had never won a conference opener in the Big 12 conference. So certainly this will help their chances knowing they've got to go to Oklahoma State next.
63-53. Three-pointers short by Jackson, and Smith runs over Vosgill. Foul will be on him with 10.6 seconds to go. Billy figures, I wish we didn't have that. We've only got 10 seconds to play. Let's run it out. At the free throw line is Vosgill. Now the Aggies are going to go overall to 11-1. Raiders are going to drop off to 8-7, 0-1 in conference play. The Aggies, of course, 1-0 in conference play. Vosgill hits both free throws. And it's 63-55. Walker takes the inbounds pass, and Tech wisely just lays back because this game is over, and you can douse the fire and call in the dogs on this one because this one is the Aggies. It's got them written all over the scorebook. The final score, 63-55. A quick final comment from you, Jim, about this Aggie win.
Well, Greg, this can simply be summed up by the fact that Texas A&M played smothering defense the second half, held Texas Tech to only 21 points, got hot from three-point line land, and that was the difference in the game.
So for our entire crew, Greg Lucas saying good night from College Station, where once again our final score, the Aggies in a comeback, 63, Texas Tech 55. You've been watching Aggie basketball on FSN.
This is Sharita. Go ahead. We have to have it now. When you get up to watch the morning.